transfer functions represents the relationship between the output signal of a control systems and the input for all the possible input values. So a block diagram is a visualization of the control system which uses blocks to represent the transfer function, and narrows which represents the various input and output signals. Iko no? Mano yung block diagram no? Yan. So okay. So at the left. So na input, then sa SOD is kini sa SOD is gitawag na siya transfer functions, which is the kanang ikuan dia schematic diagram of the RC circuits. Okay. So na siya input, dayon na siya output signal and the ikuan. So yung transfer function equivalent, that is T function function of W is equals to the output, and N is equals to 1 over 1 plus GWCR. So for example, na block diagram no, so transfer function. So that is the main concept. So sa Pika side na schematic diagram in terms of RLC circuit, so natay kanang voltage input, then the output. Okay, so then the state niya ang equivalent sa impedance of each circuits, and the resistor, the equivalent impedance niya in Laplace transform, that is R. Then the inductance, the equivalent impedance in the Laplace transform, that is SL. Okay, so another is C, which is the capacitor, that is equivalent niya ang in the Laplace transform, yung impedance is 1 over SC. Okay? So then the transfer function is defined the ratio of the Laplace transform of the output variable to the Laplace transform of the input variable, assuming all initial conditions to be 0. So for example, we place the input, then we have the output, no? Then in the input is the RS, then output is CS. Okay, so idea is to find the to find the transfer function na niya. So di ba magkonta G S is equals to the CS no over RS. The transfer functions of a control system are, okay, so first is we form the equation for the systems. Okay, so take Laplace transform of the system equation, assuming the initial condition is as 0. The next is the specify system output and input. Then lastly, we take the ratio of the Laplace transform of the output and the Laplace transform of the input, which is the required transfer function. So the main concept is to find the transfer function. So for example, there's a electric motors, no? Diba sa electric motors, ang yang input signal is the electrical signal. Then the yang output signal is, which is the mechanical signal. Okay? Since electrical energy, so muna so ang yang main niya is concept is to rotate the motors, no, sa electric motors. So sa same for sa electric generator, which is the input signal niya is, which is the mechanical signal, and then the output niya, which is the electrical signal. Okay, since mechanical energy is required to produce electricity in a generator, no? So sa dire is in mathematical analysis. Okay, so we provide the Laplace transform to solve the transfer function in the circuit. So for example, with this circuit, no, natay the value of 2 ohms in the resistance in the resistor, and then the inductance, the 1 Henry, and then the natay input, which is the Vs, and then the natry ko ng another resistor, which is 4 ohms, then capacitors. Okay, so by the way, don't forget to apply the nodal method analysis, no? So in this, uh, so we apply the node here, no? In this diagram. Okay, so nag-apply nimo sa node na. Okay, so take note that V is minus, so imo na siyang gi-VO na, no? Which means the output, no? Okay, so Vs minus VO over 2 plus S. Okay, so Vs, then minusan nimo sa VO, then uh, like ano yun eh, what? So, which is 2 plus S. So, because the value of R is 2, then which is the inductance is 1 naman. So, 2 plus S tadi. Okay? The next is the note tadi. Okay, so take note also the direction of current to sa kwan. Positive siya, no? The next is current entering, that is positive niya, leaving, that is negative, no? So, muna siyang VO over 4, then minus the VO over 10 over S is equals to 0. So, i-equate nimo into 0. Okay, so simplify nimo na. Then VS over VO is over 2 plus S is equals to VO over 4 plus S VO over 10. So, in this one is imo na i-equate ang VO in terms of 1 over 4 plus S over 10. Okay. So next na button is Vs over 2 plus S minus VO over 2 plus S. So, separate nimo no. Dayon is equals to VO over 4 plus SVO over 10. Okay, so equate nimo ang VO. So, ficus, or i-divide nimo og times na nimo og 2 plus S. Okay, to obtain V is in the right, in the left side, no? So, that is V is equals to quantity of 2 plus S, VO over 4, then plus the quantity of 2 plus S, SVO over 10, then plus VO. So, makancel naman siya, no? So, dali na for part. Okay, so next button is pagawas nimo ang VO, which is maka-obtain ka of where Vs is equals to VO, then quantity of 2 plus S over 4 plus 2S plus S squared over 10 plus 1. Okay, so ratio proportional nimo. Okay, so muna siya, VO over Vs is equivalent to 1 over the quantity of 2 plus S over 4 plus 2S plus S squared over 10 plus 1. Okay, so next namang button is simplify the denominator. Okay, so by multiplying the LCD is 40, no? Okay, so muna, no? So 40 divided by 4, that is 10. So 10 quantity 2 plus S, 10 times the quantity of 2 plus S plus the 40 divided by 10, that is 4, no? So times nimo sa 2 plus S squared, then 40 divided by 1, that is 40 times 1, that is 40. Okay, so next is name 40 is numerator na siya, no? Okay, so reduce the simplify or reduce niyo. Then one yung result, no? So 40 over 4x squared plus 18s plus 60. So next mo button na is pwede pa na ma-reduce, no, in terms of pagkawas mo ang tono, which is okay, so there is pagkawas na to. So pagkawas na that is 40 over 2 quantity of 2 is squared plus 9s plus 30. Or where transfer function niya is V over Vs is equals to the 20 over 2s squared plus 9s plus 30. So, ano na yung answer, no? So, sa there is, we need to solve the transfer function, no, in order to use the Laplace transform. Okay. So So itong timan na jud na equivalent sa which is you know equivalent so kinira tong timan impedance equivalent nila which is again sa capacitor that is 1 over SC, then the inductor that is the SL, then the resistor that is R.